check this is connected. That looks about right. Tip it a bit. How's it going? I am here, folks. I'm just setting up the last little bits of my TV and everything. Just give me a sec, and we'll be kicking off NES Batman in a couple of minutes. How's it going, Jake? Thanks for joining. And there'll be a few of you joining in a minute. Don't forget, there ain't just this evening. Dana Meddings will be doing his isolation chat a bit later on. 8 o'clock, I think that is. And Aaron Davis tonight will be doing the Star Fox completion challenge. I think he's aiming to try and beat it on one life, which is going to be a hell of a task. It's hard enough on one credit, but he says he's going to go through it. How's it going, Lance? How's it going, fella? Thank you for tuning in. Nice one, as I can see you on there. I've just plugged you, mate. How's it going, Jake? Yeah, so there's going to be quite a bit coming up. We're trying to create a kind of nightly retro gaming live interactive schedule for anybody who likes the gaming and they're sat bored as fuck at home, because I know most of you are. If anybody out there wants to kind of join this little schedule that we're doing, and you want to kind of give yourself an hour slot to do whatever you want to do, or if you just want to take over some of the nights us guys don't want to do it, then just drop me a message and I'll add you to the schedule. Tell me what you're doing. Send me a link, whether you're doing it on Twitch, whether you're doing it on YouTube or Facebook Live. I recommend those because most people are kind of already on those and they'll get alerted on the phone. But yeah, we're just trying to cure the boredom for a few people. So tonight we're going to be having a go at Batman on the NES. And I'm just going to fire it up and we'll give it a try. Now, I did rather epically fail last night, unfortunately, at Golden Axe on the Mega Drive. There was a serious problem with input lag. I do have a tiny amount of lag on the NES emulator on this, but it's not too bad. So I gave it a bit of a playthrough last night, and I did okay. I can't guarantee I'm going to complete the game today. I did complete it a couple of times in my history, but that was when I'd had several playthroughs and a lot of practice beforehand. The last few stages get really tough on this game. The interesting fact... Batman was actually the second game I ever played when I had a NES back in the day. I begged for a NES for years. I had the Turtles pack, and obviously Turtles had to go on first, but that same year I also had Batman and Excite Bike. And Batman, I'm really pleased I got it. It's one of the best NES games. And there's been a lot of Batman games over the years. Some of them are utter shite. This is one of the best. The music is fantastic. The graphics are fantastic and the gameplay is brilliant as well. So I'm going to fire this up now and we're going to see how we get on, and I should do okay. So let's go to Systems. For anybody who's wondering, I did mention yesterday, I've got an Android TV now. So whereas I used to use my Ouya as my kind of TV Android box for like viewing films and TV shows and gaming as well, my Ouya's got a little bit old now. It's a lot more powerful than a lot of modern Android devices, and definitely more powerful than that shitty Pi. But I've now got it all integrated into my TV, so I've got a lot of the classic emulators built into the TV now, and I can use my Ouya controller, which when you've got a decent emulator isn't that bad to use actually. I actually prefer having a kind of stick rather than a D-pad because of how bad my left hand is these days. But I've got some 8 and 16-bit platform emulators on anyway. And I use a front end called Dig, which links the .mu emulator series together. So we'll just go down and we'll find Batman, and off we go. I'll try and talk about it a bit as we go along, but it's kind of difficult to talk and commentate whilst you're playing, especially when you get some of the tougher parts of the game. So wherever it is, next page, there we go. Usually it looks like the American cover or something for this for some reason, but here we go anyway. Batman. You can see that I was playing it in the early hours of this morning to test it. So I've turned off all the filters to try and get the best performance from it. You should be able to hear it clear enough. There's a little bit of sound artifacting on this emulator, but it's not too bad. This was based on the first Batman movie, the original Michael Keaton one, and it's good. It's got some really cool cutscenes, some really good music and everything. So off we go. And find the start button. There we go. I do need to optimise the emulators on this. I might try and download some different ones and try and find something that performs a little better. Right. So, for anybody who's never played this before, it's obviously what the NES does best. It's a side-scrolling action platformer. You mostly use your fists as your main attack, but you've also got several weapons you can use as well, which you have to switch between using the start button. Select is pause on this game. A lot of people, whenever they play this game, think those little robotic things you have to bend down for. It's actually faster to stand and punch. So, some people comment on why Batman's a weird shade of blue and purple. Well, if you think about the original series, that's more true to his colours in that. And obviously the reason they did it is because the game's so dark and moody, they didn't want to have him kind of clash with the background too much. Hope that's clear enough, by the way. I haven't used any bilinear filters or the high quality filter because it slows the performance down. It should be clear enough for what you're seeing through the camera lens there. So first stage is pretty straightforward. You've got a couple of segments in each stage. And at the moment it's just a matter of taking care of a few running enemies. A couple of these traps. But in a second we have to start messing about with the wall jump. Now the wall jump is something you have to master to get through this game. It's essential early on and it kind of eases you into it, but the further you go on the more important it becomes. So here you're supposed to go up that section at the side. I'm not going to need to do that because what you can actually do is utilise the wall jump straight away. Scale that section there. Controls are so fluid on this game. There's some NES games that can be quite clunky, especially platformers, besides the best ones like Mario and that. If you ever played Ninja Gaiden, that's pretty slick. This is the same. Castlevania can be a little clunky at times because there's no real inertia to your character. With this, you've got slightly controllable jumps. So it does help you if you've done any kind of mistimed jumps or anything like that. By the way, I can't actually see your comments. I've repositioned my camera for this evening to get more of it in shot and I've raised it higher up, but I still can't see it to check your comments because I'm concentrating on the screen. So you can see I'm using the Batarang here to take care of these guys. If you stand in the correct position, you can actually take them out with punches, but it's not worth the risk. Got three different weapons. You've got your Batarang, which looks like that. You've got the bat gun, which looks like that, fires little rockets, and then you've got what's called the dirk. Now they all use units, a bit like the hearts do in Castlevania. So Batarang uses 1, the gun uses 2, and the dirk uses 3. Dirk is the only long distance weapon you've got, so you have to use sparingly. You've got to know when to use it. Thankfully I've played this game a lot in my time, so I know what goes where. If you don't take care of him quickly there, he throws his cigarette away and then he dashes at you and he absolutely nails you. So first boss. Can't remember what his name is, but easily dispatched with Batarangs anyway. You can get like a quick kill on him if you're fast enough on the fire button. That'll do. And you get these cool little cutscenes between stages. And the music starts to get really good from stage 2. Got to be careful here. You're actually in the Axis Chemical Works on this stage. And there's a lot of this dripping goo from the ceilings. If you fall into that stuff, it's not instant death, but you take a hit every few seconds, so it's easy to get trapped in there and lose all your health very quickly. So some people take these out with weapons. I just tend to jump across and start nailing them. When they're in their invincibility frames, you can actually kind of overlap them a little bit. So that's what you want to try and do to conserve your pellets. Same with these. Whenever I watch playthroughs of these, people take these out with weapons. All you have to do is move the second the flamethrower stops, and you can punch them out. Same with that one there. I really want to chance it and end up falling all the way back down. I probably will be using a few continues on this. Like I say, it's been a few years since I played it, and after stage 2 it gets incredibly difficult. So stage 3, when I was a kid, took me ages to get past the end of stage 3 boss is almost impossible. So again, here you got another instance where you need to use your wall jump carefully, and I mistimed it, so that's what happens. Thankfully you can find hearts by killing enemies as well as your pellets. A few more sections on this stage. There's actually 4 areas on this stage. Varies depending on the stage. There's only 5 stages in the entire game, so it's not a particularly long game. But the stages have got it broken into sections, so you've got about 20 or so different areas, and they are incredibly hard. So I don't need to take the long route here. I can use the wall jump and avoid a few enemies. Here you've got to be careful to time it not to hit the ceiling electricity, but avoid that bomb. So, oh, not that section, next section. Just punching the end of that weapon there. Again, timing everything right is key. You do take quite a bit of a pisser of a jump back if you get hit, and that can really knock you down, especially on sections like this where the wall jump is the only way to proceed. So I just about missed the ceiling there. There are some very unfair sections later on. One was quite infamous, and they showed it on one of the nerd episodes on YouTube, and to this day it's still a section, it's still a place of serious rage quitting. So again here, I've got to be careful with this. There we go, got it right that time. You can kind of just tap the button to do a slightly lower jump, and that's what you need to do there to not hit the ceiling. Doing alright so far, not amazing, but okay. B is just bonus points, not really worthy. The little rocket shaped things, those are your pellets for your weapons, so you need to collect as many of those as you can. Good thing is you've got respawning enemies, which can be a bit of a pain, but it does help you on certain sections. Like you could stand here forever and stock up on hearts if you needed them. Oh, I was unlucky. There's one anyway. Make up for the one I just lost. There's another one. Oh, that was unfortunate. Oh, this ain't good. Took a few hits there. See, you can go wrong very quickly if you don't focus, or you mistime a jump somewhere. Thankfully I know most of the enemy patterns for these stages. If you don't know what's coming, there's a fair bit of trial and error involved. Yeah, I'll probably lose a life on this stage, but there we go. There is a chance here to stock up on some hearts if I take some time, because those guys just respawn, so I'll try and score a couple of hearts if I can. That way I know to sacrifice a life when I don't really need to. You could farm here all day if you wanted, but I won't bore you silly with it. Just try and score a few extra hit points, see if we can carry through to at least beat the boss on this stage. Oh, forget it. I could be there forever. I mean, you can do, if you're doing a serious playthrough, you seriously need to do all that in order to complete it, because you need to conserve as many lives as you can for the bosses. But so I want the gun here. Take care of these sections. Then I want I can use the gun or the dirk here. I'll go with the dirk because it's easy to hit it. Go for it, Abby. I'll just wait for that end laser to shoot and then I'll go back up. Pattern's always the same, so you can predict what's going on. It's always 2 shots from the end laser, and then we've got to get up there and take care of that, which I can do with punching. I just got to time it correctly and position myself correctly. No, wrong spot. That should be it. Yeah. Excellent. I didn't lose a life, thankfully. Should remember that part from the movie. Now you've got some serious enemies on this stage. There's an enemy called the Jader. It's this weird thing that leaps at you, and they are the stuff of nightmares. They just bounce everywhere. They are ridiculously cheap and fast. If you can kill them while they're off screen, it's your best chance to destroy them like this. Any closer and they leap at you, so best to take them from a distance like that. I'm not going to let one get near me because in a minute I won't have a choice with some of them. Insta trap there, and there's grinders in the water there, so you've got to be really careful. There's some cheap parts on this game. The difficulty does ramp up pretty well, but there's some seriously cheap parts where you have to be really careful because you can end up falling on those things and not being able to get out, or you'll jump and there'll be one of those Jada things and you're stuck in a situation where you've got other enemies coming at you and it's just game over straight away. So there's an example of it just here in a second, so I'll prep my batarang so I don't have a chance to get near it with the dirks. Oh, I might do. I've timed that just right, actually. That was lucky. Usually you have to end up taking a hit there. Thank God for that. That's a hell of a jump to master as well. There's another one just here as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I need to prep here because I've got those 2 things to deal with as well as that. Batarangs I should lose a few less and I can spam them a bit more. Oh, that's lucky. I got him kind of trapped above me. I've trapped myself underneath him, should I say. That was lucky. Whew. If I get to the end of this stage, at least if I die, I can start on the start of the next section instead. So I'll cheap out here and get rid of that thing. Nice heart for me, and then on to the next bit. That's good. At least if I die now, I'll restart at the start of this section instead. So even though it's green, it's not acid, this water, it's just horrible sewer water, so it doesn't actually hurt you. Time this right. Hopefully pick up a couple of hearts before I get any further. Oh, that was unlucky. I can get some hearts up there, but it's not really worth it. There's a Jada down there, so I've got to be careful, but here we go. Damn it. They are extremely difficult to avoid. They're too fast to kind of jump out the way of. I figured I'd lose a life by about this stage anyway, so. But you can see I'm doing a bit better on this because I actually haven't got too bad a problem with lag on the controls. So I'm quite happy about that. That's where I should have landed. That's what you want to do. You want to get them to leap a little bit further and then walk back, but you can't always predict exactly where they're going to land. I can take care of this one from a distance at least. Time it right, there we go. Take care of the little spiky robot things. That was good, I gained a heart there, which I'd lost just. Got to time these wall jumps just right to get up there and hit that thing at the same time. What doesn't help is they accelerate when you get on the same plane as them, so you got to time it very carefully. Timed it just right there. Don't always get that right. It's easy to mistime something, and when you do, it's you end up kicking yourself. These wall jumps can be tricky where you've got an overhang section as well. So this way it gets really difficult. There's another difficult enemy here called the EEV, and it's like a massive version of these trucks, and it shoots fireballs, and they can do serious damage in a short space of time. So best trick to do is try and avoid them. If you're lucky, you can get them to despawn, but it doesn't always work. So here they are anyway. There. You can get the ones higher up to despawn, but I haven't got him, so I'll just try and take care of him with batarangs up close. There we go. I knew I'd take a couple of hits on him. Hopefully I can pick up some hearts on the route up though, because the boss fight on this stage is incredibly difficult. This is the one that gave me the most trouble. Unfortunately, there's no quick shortcut up here, so you have to take everything on the chin. I need to get rid of him because another one of those EEVs. Now this one, I might be able to get to despawn, but we'll see. There we go. That one despawns because it's on a longer platform, so it moves back further without you scrolling the screen. You can actually get to despawn, so tip there if you ever play this game, play it smart. You can't just go all gung-ho. As fun as it is jumping around with the wall jump and that, gotta use your head. That is not worth trying to trigger, because you could end up falling all the way back down. Again, you need to stay back there because of that trap. And this is another tricky wall jump section here, because you've got overhangs, and then you've got these gun guys as well as those grinding gears. You see, they can damage you, so you got to do this. You got to do this right. I've basically got a wall jump up there, leap onto his platform, start punching all between his fire blasts. So let's see if I can get this right. There we go. Incredibly difficult jumps to do. And again, those double gears, they can cause you real problems. Did that all in one go then. The invincibility frames meant that I could kind of jump into him, which is what you want to do there. But if you get this wrong, you can end up falling all the way back down, so you've got to be careful. Another one of those EEVs here, so I don't think we can get it to despawn, so no. But at least you can duck behind the rock for that one. You can punch them, but it's not worth the risk. Right, now I'm on to the boss. The boss here is a real pisser. I might not do it first time, but I have got enough batarangs to deal with him. He takes a mental amount of shots, so this is one that gave me problems for years. I've learned to just basically spam batarangs at him and run right into him. You'll see what I mean. It's just basically kill or be killed there. I spent so many years trying to avoid him. It took me about 2 years to beat this game the first time. The first time I got past him, I was loving it. The music on this level, amazing. Oh God, that was stupid. Got to be careful there. You walk a little bit too close to the platform, you start setting off the drop trap, so you got to be careful. And those things the other side of the platform there, I need to take those out before I start moving. Else you'll easily get trapped over there. Damn it, still took a hit there. See, again, if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't notice that trap up the top, so luckily I held back and used my weapon against him. That heart helps. Good chance to resupply here. Good job I didn't go too far forward then, I nearly started to run off then. Those are the most lethal enemies in the game, without a doubt. I suspected there was no... I haven't been to this level in quite a while, and yet I suspected he was there. I am making this look slightly easier by my own admission. I'm not usually this good at this game, but I'm not going to go through all my continues unless I get to the last stage, because the last stage is ridiculous. You've got 2 boss fights, you have to do it all on one set of lives, and I don't think I'll beat it using these controls, so... But I'll at least try to get to the last stage. Considering I haven't played this apart from, what, 2 goes yesterday, I'm not doing too bad. Now, some of these jumps here are ridiculous. You can't land on the gears at the bottom. So you can see here I've got to get wall jumping up there and take care of this clown. So... Again, that's only because of years of practice to know when to time that. First time you play this game, you'll get your ass handed to you, I can guarantee you. First time I played yesterday, after not playing for a good while, I was getting my ass kicked. And you can see obviously why I'm taking care of him there, because I don't want to land down there on those traps. Not going to bother trying to jump that, let's just get rid of him. There we go. Same again here, no point trying to be brave there and jump in that gap. I need the pellets for the boss, so it's been a while since I fought this boss. If I even get there, I don't really think I'll beat him because I cannot remember the patterns at all. Just a few more bits to go. This is where the jumps become unfair because of these stupid geared sections. There's some jumps down here, until you've worked them out, you just don't understand how you can get around them. Plus when you've got enemies there as well, I've basically got to jump up here, wall jump off there and clear the gap. But in the time it takes me to do it, one of those things will have dropped from the ceiling, so you've got to be careful. And again, I wasn't paying attention there, I forgot about those. So you're going to take a hit whatever you do on sections like that. You need a lot of luck to get over those areas. Well, oh, not quite there. So here's another section, this one I forgot about. So it makes you think you can just clear that gap somehow. You can't. You've got to go the long way round to get to the exit. So then you got time between these electric blasts. This section's quite hard. 3 blasts. So here you got to deal with the electric, the trap dropper, and one of those mechanical things on a rail. So I've got to be careful. Or just go through and take one hit like I did there. That's probably the better way to deal with it, thinking about it. Again, here you got some very small platforms higher up. If you fall, you go all the way down to the bottom here and into the fire. So I'm not going to take a risk with this douche either. Just take care of him from a distance. And of course, if you fall all the way down, all the enemies respawn. So you really don't want to be messing about with that. I'm sure I've seen some speedrunners be able to shortcut their way up by grabbing those, but I don't know if it works on this version. I think this is the American version I got here. Might work on the Japanese version. There, it looks like you've got to make high jumps, but you haven't. Now this is where it gets difficult. There's lightning on the blocks higher up, but at the map you've got these little conveyors you've got to stand on while you wait. So it gives 1 and then 3. That was it. Tying that just well then, actually. But then you've got these little tiny platforms to stand on. You've got to deal with these enemies at the same time, so it's where your weapons come in handy. Even though I really need them for the boss, I've got to get there first. I don't really want to be falling all the way back down because it's a real pain in the arse to get back up. Probably use a batarang here to take him out. That's it. That was worth using 2 batarangs for. Now again, we've got some of those EVs higher up here, so we'll take these out the safe way. Like that. Whoa! I can get in the safe way here, and I'm going to, because I don't want to lose this energy I've got. I'm using 3 pellets every time I chuck one of those, so I shouldn't really be doing that, but I'd rather keep my health and see if we can have a few more tries at the boss. If I lose all my lives against the boss, then I have to start way back at the start of the stage. I don't really want to do that. So I'm just playing it safe here. One more jump. Just time it right so I don't get too hasty. There we go. I think that's the last one on the stage anyway. Oh, this doesn't look nice. It's a bit like Sonic, you can kind of blast through, but then there's sometimes when you've really got to stop and take stock of what you're doing. At least those I can take care of a bit easier. There might be one more EEV hiding up there. No, thankfully. But now it's the boss. Now I haven't fought this boss in about 15 years, so if I do terribly, then I can't really say much more. I know there's a pattern to it, I just can't remember what it is. And again, at the top there, I don't know if you spotted it, there's a hidden trap. So I've got to do this quick. Cock that up. Ah, and again. I'll probably lose a life on this boss, but there we go. Well, he just respawned while I was on screen. How did you do that? Might be an artifact there later. Right, here we go. So this is a strange boss. The way to do it is to basically duck down and not do that. But it's a bit risky because they're always shooting, see. And you can't predict exactly when they're going to shoot. Sometimes you'll get hit. Once you destroy one box, the other one speeds up, see. I might do it on a full bill of health. I'm certainly not going to do it on this now. Right, second time lucky, come on. That was better. Sometimes you get lucky and they go through you like that. There we go. And he throws at these things, which really damage you. I need to get down there and take him out, so just got to time it right. Got him? Yes! Final stage. I'm surprised I remembered the pattern for him. So final stage. Now this level's a pisser because you've got to climb the clock tower. And then you've got two enemies up there. You've got one called the Firebug, who is ridiculously difficult. And then you've got to fight the Joker. And again, he's an absolute pisser. So, and it's a bit of a climb as well. Just one stage on this one. Let's see how well we do anyway. Wish me luck. Again, these gears in the clock tower, they're all over the place and they're a fucking nightmare. A little bit of slowdown there, but that's not the emulator, that's actually the NES used to slow down like that as well, I remember. Back to stage 1 music now. Shame they didn't do a new music for stage 5, but there we go. And again, there's no real shortcuts here. You just got to kind of grind your way to the top, and the jumps just get longer and longer. Missed time my jump then, sorry. Oh no! See what I mean? Right, I'll use the wall jump next time to get over that bit. Probably need to pick up some hearts on the way up as well. Oh, do you know that my hands are sweating? They keep slipping off the stick. Under pressure. So ideally, wall jump should be a better tactic here. I need to get rid of those things first. Now, there we go. Yeah, it tricks you into thinking you can just about reach at the top there with a wall jump. You can't. So here you gotta do wall jumps and avoid those gears. It's not easy at all. You got them at the sides, you got them above your head, you got them everywhere. And I need to get as much ammo, keep as much ammo as I can for the higher up stages. So. You can see the second I get across there's a trap up on the ceiling, so I've got to get over there and run so I don't want to get knocked back down again. At least you don't get knocked all the way back down to the ground. Oh, that was lucky. That was just pure adrenaline keeping me going then. Come on, get up there. It's better. see what we're dealing with right already. The long climb up the spire now. This is the pisser because the sections where you got to jump over those gears, and unless you are pixel perfect, you are not going to make it. Again, if you've watched the AVGN episode where they play this all the way through, you see how many attempts they have at this entire section, and I'm pretty sure they end up using save states. 1, 2, 1, 2. So again, on each section, you've got an enemy there you've got to deal with. So your timing's got to be impeccable, and they do respawn if you go off the bottom of the screen at all. So these are the jumps that are infamous. You've basically got to drop down the inside of this block, grab it at the very bottom, and tap just enough of the button to jump up there without hitting your head on the cogs above. Real pain in the arse. I probably won't be able to do it, but let's see. No. I might as well just take the hits, to be honest, and get to the top. No. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to make it to the top now because I know there's another one of those jumps higher up and I'm going to lose it straight away. So that's how you've got to do it, but you don't go as far to drop. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. So I'll use one continue and I'll just see if we can at least get up to the boss, but I know, yeah. I'll give it one more chance. You only get about 3 continues. I'm not sure exactly how many it is. I don't know if you earn them or you just get an allocated amount, but you don't just see how many continues you've got. So it's easy to forget when you're running low on continues. So you can see how many lives you've got by pausing it, but you can't see how many continues you've got. I'm going to try and get to the boss if I can. If I'm going to show you the Joker, I'll be happy. Show you the Firebug, I'll be happy, to be honest. But like I say, it's not an easy game at all. I've only got this far the way I have without losing too many lives because, like I say, I've played this game a million times over the years. I'll wait for the robot to come and then I'll... If it's going to come. Yeah, there it is. God damn, no! And this is why it's infuriating. You can see how many hits I took there. Might not be enough to even get me to the top. But ideally this is the first life of my continue, so I want to try to do it. At least I knew I could clear that section after last time. Even though they've got slight delays of invincibility frames, if you let them go, they'll still hit you there, so you've got to be careful. That's how you're supposed to deal with them. You just got to just land on the edge of the platform without tapping left. Again, got it right there, but then you got this ridiculous jump. Yeah, no, get out. Oh, 3 hits. I'd say that's definitely a life lost up here because I've got that thing to deal with. Oh no, I got it just right that time. Then again, I can still cock up here. Right, it's got to time this perfectly. And I forgot to deselect my Batarangs. What a dick. This is the level that causes a lot of people to rage quit, it really is. Like I say, I'll give it till the end of this credit and then I'm not going to go any further because my dinner will be ready for 1. And I want to get back to Resident Evil 3 anyway. Resident Evil 3 dropped on my Mac today, so definitely got to be playing that. As much as I like entertaining you guys, there's still plenty coming up today. Daniel will be doing his isolation lockdown chat with some of the other YouTubers later on. And Aaron Davis, I've kindly let him take one of my Nintendo challenges I was going to do. He's doing Star Fox tonight. It's about 9:30, and he should be taking that on and trying to complete it with 1 credit or 1 life, he did say to me. That was the condition I let him have it, basically. He said he could do it on 1 life, even though I'm not that good at it. So if he doesn't do it, next time he wants to do a game, I won't let him have it. Come on, robots. I know you're there. There we go. You think after doing it 2 or 3 times, I'd have it flawless by now. Damn it. It really is. It's like you think you got the timing down, and there's something about the graphics or the way everything scrolls around just really throws your timing off. Come on, this time. Remind me if I've still got Batarang selected. That's how it's supposed to be done. You have to start punching during your jump. That's what makes it difficult, you see. I'd rather do it that way and just take 1 hit than take 3 by fucking it up. Oh, at least I got a heart back off that one. 2 hearts back. Right, deselected the Batarangs. Let's do it this time. Let's get to that fucking... I was sweating like a fucking pig here, by the way. No pressure, like. Right, just 1 shot and then 2. Oh, there's another one? Oh, man, come on. Next time. That'll do. Another one of those stupid jumps here, but again, I'm going to take the hit. Come on. Don't let this little fucking thing take me out now. Look at that bullshit up there I've got to deal with as well. How the fuck? I don't know how to deal with this. I don't think I've got enough energy to do it. I'm just going to have to kind of run and pray. If I die this time, I'm not going to try it again, because I'll just end up losing my rag. I just need to get up there with more energy, and making stupid mistakes like that doesn't help me. The slowdown on that. Whoa. Wasting no time. I just need to get to that section. I just need to get to that section with at least 6 health. better. This is why you need a lot of practice, see. Once you've gone through a few continues and replayed this same stage, you can get a lot better and you can go through it without taking too many hits. It's one of those games though, you're never going to go through and not take a hit. It's not the kind of game you can go through and do that on. If I've gone a bit quiet, it's because I'm pressured, that's all. Right. Right, so I've gone full energy, so I'll take a hit here. That's alright, I'll take that hit there, I don't mind that. That was close. If we can just get up to the boss, I'll be happy, seriously. I needed to do it on my first life, really, but to be able to show you the Joker. Oh, that was a bit unfair. Right. Oh, that thing despawned. That certainly helped the situation. Right, I'm at the top, guys, so I can at least show you the boss. I don't know how well I'll do. I'll probably get my ass kicked because I really, really can't remember his pattern. I might just have to spam the shit out of him and try and beat him. We'll see what happens. Here goes nothing. Firebug. Yeah, figured that would happen. I'm probably out of lives now. Yeah. I'm not trying it again. It sends you all the way back down to the start of the level, and I don't think I've got it in me. Before, didn't have to just try and do that bit, so... But anyway, that was Batman on the NES. For those of you who haven't seen it before, you can now see what a cool game it is. For those of you who've never played it, and you've got a NES, or you've got your emulator access, just do yourself a favour, download this and play this. Seriously good game. You've just seen it there. Slightly infuriating at times, but after a few playthroughs, you should be able to complete it anyway. I'm not going to try and bust my ass to do it now because I'll probably spend about 30 minutes just on that section. But hope you enjoyed it anyway, guys. Make sure you tune in for Dana's lockdown chat at 8 o'clock, and make sure you tune in for Aaron's completion challenge at 9:30. He should do a better job of it than I do. Hopefully I'll be back with the stream another day. Probably give the weekend a miss myself, but I know a few other people have been on about doing some streaming and adding to this schedule. If you are, let me know. I'll add it to a schedule and I'll post it up on the revival feeds and my YamYam retro gaming page, and maybe you can get on in this too and entertain some people. Let us sit back and watch for a change. But anyway, take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night.